joining. I am Renee Lindo. I'm a personal stylist and I guide women on their style journey from confused and overwhelmed to confident and killing it. We do this by creating functional wardrobes with polished outfits that align with their personal brand so that they can show up for more and put their hand up for more. And so, as we know, when you look good, you feel good. So, this is Your Style Matters with Renee. If this is your first time joining, welcome. So glad to have you. Just my camera here. So glad to have you. We're here every Friday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern, streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So let me know where you are joining from. I love to have these sessions be very interactive. So drop any questions that you have or any comments. And I'll try to keep my eye on the chat and be sure to answer your comments or questions as they come in. On Your Style Matters with Renee, I try to talk about all things styled or different things, different topics within style, how to use your style as a tool it is, especially in the professional realm. Most of my clients are building careers, moving up in their career, or entrepreneurs. So they're pitching themselves. They are selling themselves, trying to get new business. We're all selling ourselves all the time. I firmly believe that. And so how you show up matters. The message you're sending matters. And what you wear communicates before you even open your mouth. People already start making decisions about you based on that. So your style is a tool. And it's so important to understand how to use your style to communicate your story, to communicate exactly what you want to say, to align with your brand and align with the values and what's important to you. So today's topic is what to wear to work when there is no dress code. That is a challenge that I've been helping clients with recently. So I figured I'd bring it to LinkedIn in case some others are experiencing some of the same challenges. And what I mean by that, before pandemic, we had much more, say, not formal, but there were more rules in terms of dress code. You knew that if you went to work, you wore certain things and you dressed a certain way. And if you're at a particular level in your organization, you dressed differently. Depending on your role as well, you dress differently. But now, as we've lived through the pandemic and continue to live through the pandemic, we all know there's a whole casualization of dress. And so we're dressing much more casually for work. I'm finding even in my more formal organizations or formal industries, it's still a little more casual. Even the lawyers who are my clients, they're still, well, some of them actually, not all of them, they're pulling back the full suit and maybe breaking that up in a sports coat or a jacket and a dark denim for some. Some are even wearing joggers or cargo pants with a blazer or a nice blouse. And it really all depends on the company culture. It depends on the type of clients. If you're going to be facing clients that day, it depends if they're going to court. So your style and what you're wearing really changes. And now we're in a situation where we as individuals are in a position where we kind of we can kind of say what we want to wear. And I think what a main theme that we see in terms of dress is comfort. So today's topic is what to wear to work when there is no dress code. So let's get into it. If you are tuning in, please let me know where you are viewing from. I always love to know where folks are catching me, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. And also, where in the world are you? And if you are watching the replay or joining live, I know that many folks watch the replay, so that's also good to see. And I'll be sure to answer your questions when I see them in the chat, whether it's replay or live. So the first tip I give folks when they come to me and say, "Hey, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to wear to work. Everything is just, I want to be comfortable, but I also have a certain level in the organization, so I want some authority. I want to be approachable." So there's so many words and so many emotions and so many quote unquote things that we want to communicate with our style. So how do we do that with what we're wearing? So one of the first things that I encourage you to do or to think about is to think about your company and think about your industry, because those usually will dictate how you are going to dress, how you should present yourself, what your customer and client, what they kind of expect you to look like when they're meeting with you. And yeah, so think about the company culture and the even so the job itself, so your company and also the industry. And I say that, and there's no hard and fast there, because even in the formal industries, so I was working with four lawyers, and they were all very different. So I had one lawyer who, she said her company, she's a partner, her company really wanted them to dress more casually and to be more approachable for clients, right? So her water was completely different. We still did things that she looked good and she felt good in, but with it, we peeled back on the suits. We only did about 2 or 3 power suits when she had to go to court, but her everyday lawyer office attire was definitely peeled back. So we really want to think about your company, and then also your industry can also give you some guidance as to what the dress code is like. If you're in marketing, especially social media marketing, right? That tends to be a much more casual type of vibe. It has always been more casual anyway, even before pandemic. So if you're marketing, if you are marketing digital marketing, social media marketing, that tends to be, as an industry, tends to be more laid back. But you could have some, depending on their clients and the work that they're doing, where they want to, when they go and pitch to clients, when they pitch their certain ad campaign or whatever it is that they're working on the clients for, depending on that client's formality with their dress, they're going to also change their dress. So it's really about thinking about who is the client, who is your audience, and also you, because the key thing for you to show up well, you want to be comfortable, right? So you don't want to, whatever level of formality of dress you are considering, you don't want to be uncomfortable. You can be casual in a formal suit, and also you can be uncomfortable in some other clothes. So you really want to look for clothing that you feel comfortable. We know that when you're comfortable, you're more creative, and you do some of your best work, right? You are not too restricted. So keep that in mind. Keep the company culture and industry in mind. The other thing to think about is, let me see, I don't see anything in the chat. The other thing to think about when you're trying to figure out what to wear and what will be appropriate for you to wear to work when there is no dress code is, oh, I should have said this should have been the first point, is that the fact that you have no dress code, that's the good news. And the fact that you don't have a dress code is also the bad news, right? So it's really two ends of a double-edged sword. The fact that you don't have a dress code, right? On the good side, you're open to your interpretation and to what you want to wear and what's comfortable for you. And on the other side, because there's no dress code, your options are so much. There's so many things, right? And so you can be overwhelmed with what to decide. So it really depends on how you want to look at it. You can look at it as, great, there's no dress code, I can wear what I want and be comfortable, or there's no dress code, what in the world am I going to wear? And that is where I come in and really help clients to figure out what their style is, because that's really what you want to do. And what I encourage clients to do when there's no dress code is a great opportunity for you to think about, okay, how do I want to show up at work, right? What message do I want to send? What do I want people to feel and think about me when we are interacting, right? Because this is your personal brand. Your style is a big part of your personal brand. It's the first thing that people see when they see you, when they meet you. And remember, first impressions happen in split seconds, very quickly, and they're deciding key things about you. So your style really is a packaging of your brand. So you want to think about, how are you showing up? What message are you sending? Because listen, this is a way of communication. Your style, your clothing is a way of communicating and telling the world, introducing yourself to the world and the people who are there. So your audience then. So it's an opportunity for you to really hone your personal brand and for you to really be deliberate and think about how are you showing up, especially if it's a new organization or you're coming into the office more frequently, there are new people on your team. All of those things are important. And that I posted some feedback from not a client, but someone who follows me on LinkedIn. And she said, because of her following me and listening to what I've been saying, she's been more intentional and deliberate with her what she wears. And so she went to an event. Her CEO knew who she was, called her by name, and told her that, wow, you're always the best dressed person. So she's making an impact. People are noticing. You may not think people notice you, but they do. And so she really felt good, and she said, oh, because she had really started to put together all of the things that she hears me talk about on LinkedIn, that she's able to really own her style, own her presence, and to really show up powerfully and create that personal brand of who she is. And people know her CEO knew who she was, and that was really an awesome story. So I said, with no dress code, you can determine what you want to wear. And how you do that, again, one of the first things, think about, okay, what's the industry? Is it casual? Is it more formal? How do I want to show up in this space? How do I want them to know me? Right? And so let me just stick a pin here. So if HR or any of those HR business partners or any HR people, if you're tuning in and watching, your employees really would like to have some type of guidance. You don't have to be strict with it, but giving them some type of guidelines, some guidance as to, hey, this is what, work attire could look like. And listen, if you need help, you can count on me. I can help you to put together some type of guidance for your employees. They'll just feel and it's not that they're going to be restricted, because the guidance is just guidelines, right? That they can maneuver and work within. It just makes it easier. It makes a it makes a decision making easier when they're deciding what to wear. So if you need some help with that, reach out. I'll be happy to chat with you and talk about what we can do to create a dress code kind of plan guide that will help employees to feel empowered, right? Empowered to show up as themselves, empowered to bring their entire selves to work, empowered to wear clothing that's comfortable and makes them feel powerful. And when we do that, they're more productive, right? And also including diversity and inclusion also in their dress, and being able to say, your body shape is this way, or your body shape is this way, you're more comfortable wearing this kind of clothes as opposed to someone else. Not that we all have to look alike, right? So really being open to diversity even in how we dress. So I talked about the double-edged sword of not having guidance versus having the guidance. So the other thing is that you can do is to look at your boss. I always give this suggestion, is to look up at how is your boss or the VPs or the higher ups, how are they dressing? How are they presenting themselves to work when they come to the office? And I have a couple of things. When I say that, I get a couple of responses. They'll either say, I don't like how my boss dresses. Right. And that's fair. And I get that too. Some of these bosses, maybe we need to work together. I can definitely help you to create a style that is comfortable and shows you in the best light. But they'll say, I don't like how my boss dresses. And that's the point. Okay, you don't like how they dress, but it's not that you're going to necessarily imitate how they dress or what they dress or even their style, but you're looking to get clues in terms of the formality of the office. You're looking for clues in terms of what types of things are they dressing. Are they wearing a suit every day? Or are they wearing a hoodie, right? So not that you're going to wear that exact suit or you're going to wear that exact hoodie, but at least it gives you some guidance in terms of formality and what you can wear. So if they're wearing a suit every day, then probably maybe, again, it depends on a lot of factors. Maybe you wearing a hoodie won't be looked upon well. Okay, so you take some guidance and clues from what their higher ups are doing or wearing. So they'll say, I don't like how my boss dresses, or they'll say, so that is kind of the same thing, but a little different. They'll say, yeah, but my boss wears a hoodie, right? I had a team So they're in like entertainment type industry. So and they're a little bit more casual. So the boss, the VP, wears a hoodie. And so my client was like, a hoodie is just not my vibe. I can't go to work and wear a hoodie. That's just not who I am. I wasn't raised that way, but we had to get dressed to go to. So fine. So what that tells us is that if hoodie is okay at that level, then you really have a wide range, a wide area to play. If the hoodie is okay, you can wear something that makes you feel good. There is no restrictions then, because the hoodie is the bar is low. So anything you do above that, you're going to look great. You are going to look good and feel good. So it doesn't have to be a hoodie, but maybe so obviously if it's a hoodie, it's still a more casual vibe. So maybe for you, maybe you're going to wear maybe joggers, or maybe you're going to wear joggers and a knit a turtleneck or a sweater, and then maybe some loafers, right? So that can be a casual vibe for you. So there are many ways that we can use or pieces to still give a casual vibe without being a hoodie. There's a huge runway between hoodie and a huge runway for casual. Casual is not just a hoodie, is a better way to say it, right? And so sometimes we have they'll say the dress code is business casual, and again, wide open, because before business casual, most offices would kind of dress more leaning toward business. Now what I'm seeing and hearing from clients is that a lot of them are leaning more to casual, right? Which is fine if that's the vibe of the office. But I encourage you to think about and be intentional. What does your casual look like? Casual can be cargos. I'm loving cargos. It can be cargos, but you did look at the different fabrics that the cargo pants are made from. It doesn't have to be the very casual like twill fabric. If that's not you, you can elevate it to a smoother fabric, maybe a lighter fabric that moves some more, and then maybe a casual top, a sweater, maybe a striped sweater. Maybe you can do a jean jacket. A bomber jacket is great. So there are all different pieces that when you put together are still great for work, but they still give a casual vibe. And your footwear is another thing to keep in mind if you want to make something more casual. If you don't wear the heels, but make it more of a loafer or more of a sneaker. Not the sneakers that you work out in, but more of those like retro sneakers are really in right now. And they look quite chic with your work, even suits. I love white sneakers with a suit, white or metallic. So I said a lot there. So looking at your boss or your colleagues is another thing that you can do. And I'm not saying that you're going to imitate what they wear and wear the exact things, but it gives you some guidance in terms of the formality of kind of the expectation. And then from that, you're able to choose your outfits based on what your boss is wearing. And if you need help, that's where I can come in for sure to help you to really create some. First of all, invest in some pieces where you have a functional wardrobe that are going to allow you to be more casual or be more dressed up, again, depending on what the occasion is, and then how we put it together to make it seamless for your office and after office. Let's see. I think we have a comment here. Sheba, thanks for joining. Very important aspect element for HR to incorporate to help employees. Absolutely. I think HR probably feels like, oh, we don't want to scare people away or tell them what they have to wear. People already don't want to come into the office, so let them wear what they want. But on the other hand, and I can see that as well. On the other hand, what happens is that when you don't have guidance, people are lost and they feel overwhelmed. And your guidance doesn't have to be very prescriptive and direct and you must wear this, but definitely incorporate some options and show them what does good look like and what is acceptable. So I think that visual of showing folks, this is, our office is casual or business casual. This is what our interpretation of what that is. These are some examples. And as I said, those are some of the things that I can help clients to do, my corporate clients to do and put together. Well, let's hear about, we have another question here. Kwam, hi Kwam. So good to see you. Hi Renee, a question for men. My industry, fitness, is very casual, gym clothes. I like to dress more formally when meeting with prospects because it's a business context. Exactly. Would you consider that as overdressing? This is a great question. So Kwam is in his fitness. So of course it's casual, they're exercising. So when he's going out to either pitch himself or meet with clients, what does he wear? Right? Does he wear his runners and sweats? So I have a few thoughts on that, Kwam. So one of the first things I would say is it depends on where are you meeting the client. Are you going to the client's office? And who the client is. A couple things to think about is you want to kind of be on the same level of dress as your client and who you're meeting. So if you're going into his office, uh, instead of really looking like you're coming from the gym, you can still be casual. So you can still wear like Lululemon golf. You can wear golf pants that have a lot of stretch that are still comfy. So you can still be comfortable, and maybe a polo shirt, and maybe your shoes are soft bottom, not necessarily sneakers, but some soft bottom shoes. So you still have that athletic look and sportive vibe, but you're not coming straight from the gym. So I think that's something to consider. You don't have to. It doesn't have to. You want to consider the person that you're meeting, and where you're meeting. And if in their office, I would dress it up a little. So if you're going to meet a lawyer, I don't think you'd want necessarily wear a jacket, but maybe you would wear maybe a bomber style jacket could be a good option because it still gives you that third layer of a jacket, but it's not a coat or a blazer, I should say. And I think that keeps it sporty. I think what's important is your the fabrications, right? You want to have some stretch because you're still athletic, right? And your tops, maybe I like a nice polo collar, yeah, collar neck. Maybe I know where it comes in Switzerland. I think they're still cold. A long sleeve sweater with a polo neck and a bomber. I think it's a great look. And your shoes can be like those Cole Haan with the white bottom of the shoes. I think those are great for meeting clients. Or maybe it's full black soft shoes that are still comfortable, and they have an athletic kind of vibe, but they're not the shoes you work out in. Right. So I think that's a great question. And I agree with you. I would say dress a little bit more formally, not necessarily gym clothes, but still bringing that athletic vibe. Not overdressing, still athletic vibe. Because you remember as well, folks, when we put ourselves together, we are showing our audience, the person we are meeting, we're showing that we're being respectful to, we're respecting them. It is sign of respect when you take the time to put yourself together, take the time to think about the message that you're sending, you take the time to think about how they're going to receive you, right? Those are all important things. We have another comment here from Rashmi. Any tips on how to experiment with different styles? Oh, tell me more. What do you mean? Because I'm all about experimenting. Oops, I don't need that again. I'm all about experimenting. I think that's a great thing to do. One tip, maybe, Rashmi, is that you don't want to try everything new all at once, right? If there's a trend that you see that you like, that you say, I wonder what that would look like on me. First of all, with trends, I did a whole thing on trends and being trendy on my blog, letsgetdressednow.com. So be sure to read that, because I'm not saying that you're going to be trendy and bang into all the new trends all the time. Not a sustainable way to build a functional wardrobe. But I think you're saying experiment. I would suggest that you try one new thing. If you see a new trend that you like, what's a new trend that you can incorporate? So I don't know if you right now, long skirts are trending, maxi skirts are trending. They're very on trend. They're going to be in the spring, summer. And if you don't have a maxi and you're not quite sure, maybe what you do, you try it, you buy it, you try it, and then the other tip is to try it in a situation where it's low risk. So you may not wear the trend, whatever it is that you're trying or experimenting with. You may not wear that to a meeting with your boss, or a big event where you're gonna have a lot of people, because you want, remember, your clothing, you want to be comfortable, right? That's the big thing. You want to be comfortable whatever you're wearing, because people can always tell when you're uncomfortable. So try it if you're going to the mall. Try it if you're just running an errand. See how you like it. See if you get compliments. See how comfortable you feel in that item. And then the next time you can wear more of it, or you wear a brighter color. If it's colors, try a color you hadn't worn before, when there, as I said, the risk is low, right? That would be my tips. Try it when the risk is low and just give it a shot. Think about, and if it's a trend you want, something you want to try, think about, am I going to like this after it's no longer trending? That's another big point. You don't want to spend money on things that are just a quick flash in the pan. In a month, they're gone. But the thing is, you want to spend money on it. It may be trendy, but if you like it, you're going to wear it after the trend goes, which I think is a great way to invest and to use style in a way that's fun. Remember, style and clothes are supposed to be fun, right? Don't get too caught up with, oh my God, did I do this wrong? Oh my God, what are people going to say? Listen, it's just clothes. If you try it and you're like, that's not really my vibe, you can take it off and just don't wear it again, right? But I think it is important to try, because you'd be surprised. Sometimes I'll see things and I wonder what that would look like. And I build up the courage, because sometimes it's kind of out there for me and my style, but I still try it. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I don't, either I'm tugging at it or pulling at it, or it's just not my vibe. I'm like, okay, that's not me, and I just don't wear it again. So I encourage you to think about how comfortable you are in it, and I encourage you to try different things, but try one kind of trend thing or one thing at a time, not everything at once. All right, so what do we have here? So Kwam said, thank you for your answer. Perfect. Hope that helped. Let's see, do we have another one? Something from Kelly. How about use a formal outfit with sneakers? Love it. Kelly, I'm here for that. I so love that. And I think it's really gets down to our personality, and that is what style is about. Style is about communicating who we are, and I've been seeing that more and more. Like, I'll see, I dressed a teenager. She was having, I think, her ball. What do you call it? A prom or some big graduation type, grade 8 graduation type thing. Beautiful dress, and she had her Converse on under, and I'm like, yes, because that's who she is. Now, she's a young lady who really doesn't like dresses. She wasn't sure she was going to wear a dress, and so that's her vibe. She's very casual. She likes more of a kind of tomboy look, and so pairing that dress with her Converse was so her. And I thought that was such a good way for her to do it. Formal, no, it kind of depends on where. Maybe it depends. Does it depend? I'm just going to say, if you're really a casual girl, and when you wearing sneakers is your jam, I say yes. What you could do, if it's a formal, maybe you do sneakers that have some bling, right? Maybe you do some sneakers with some sparkly sequins on it. I wouldn't. I'd say probably not the sneakers that you work out in with the Nike swoosh or the Adidas. Well, even though Adidas, those 3 bars are kind of trending now. Anyway, I guess it depends on the formality of the event. But I think you could rock it. But that's another thing. I love mixing different levels of dress. So casual with formal. I think that gives such a good mix and a good energy. And as humans, we're all we have different sides of our personality. So I think it's really fun to be able to showcase our different sides when we can. Any other questions? Let me check. I think I'm all caught up. All right. So we talked about looking to the boss and your colleagues. Talked about culture and your industry. So that our topic today, for those who are just joining, is what to wear to the office when there's no dress code for the office. And so the other thing is, When you're dressing, when you building on what I had said before about with no dress code, it really allows you to show up as you, to show up really creating your style story to align with your personal brand. I think that's really the important part of it. You know, some will say, "Oh, there's no dress code. I can wear whatever I want, and I'm wearing a hoodie and ratty jeans and all that." And that may be okay depending on your industry. But I encourage you to think about what is the message that you're sending when you're wearing whatever it is you decide to wear. I'm not saying that you should wear a three-piece suit every day to work, because again, that may not be the right fit for your industry or your company and even who you are as a person. But because there's no dress code doesn't mean that you show up to work kind of looking kind of sloppy, or show up on video, because many of us are virtual, right? You really want to take some time and be deliberate in what you're wearing. Be deliberate and think about the message that you're sending to your audience, to your client, to whoever is seeing you, because that is a part of your brand. It's the experience that people get when they are with you, right? And a part of that is how you show up. So apart from the message that you send when people see you, it's also a message to yourself, right? It's also about, how do I want to feel? How do I want to show up? What makes me feel good? Because and then how do I show up authentically? How do I allow my personality to shine? When we do that, we become magnetic, right? Our energy shifts. And because we're authentically ourselves. And data tells us that when we're comfortable, we're more creative. When we're dressed more formally, we tend to be more focused and more diligent and get those things done. But when we're dressing more casually, we tend to be more creative. So it also kind of depends on what industry and what type of work you need to do that day. I talked about this already. Remember, your personal brand communicates who you are, and your brand is important. We all have a personal brand. So being able to package that brand in a style and in a way that says who you are really is important. Another big tip that you should keep in mind is, I talked a lot about the company, and I talked about the company in terms of the company expectations or the industry kind of expectations of what you should look like. And I also talked a bit about you and your brand and how you want to show up and your personality. So remember, it's really a balance, right? It's really a balance, because sometimes I hear people say, "Well, I am comfortable just wearing hoodie and sweats." Yeah, okay, I get that. But is that the only way you can be comfortable? Because maybe your company, yes, they may be casual, but they may want something a little bit more than sweats and a hoodie. And that is possible. Retailers now have done a really good job, as we've worked through the pandemic, of giving us options that are comfortable, right? So a couple of things: you want to look for clothing that has stretch, because that will allow you to move about. I love this top. I'm going to talk about it on my IG. I got this top, a brand in Toronto called Encircled. It is such a neat top. I love and if I can even show it here. Yeah, so it has buttons down the front. It has this V-neck, no collar, and the fabric is stretchy and so comfy. So I love it even as just a layering piece under a jacket, blazer. You still have the button down styling. Oh, it cuts me off. But then the important thing is that there's a ton of stretch, right? So you're not restricted, but you still feel put together. You still feel like, okay, I'm wearing a white button down. Well, you are wearing a white button down. And you can layer it under a blazer, wear it on its own. So shout out to Encircled. Well done with this top. And I guess my last point is, think of when you're getting dressed, think about what is it that you want to say. I'll tell clients, don't think about what am I going to wear today. Think more about, what do I want to say today? What do I want to say with how I'm showing up? What do I want to say with my energy? What do I want to say wherever I am? What do I want to say about where I'm going? So what do you want to say? And then remember as well that your personal brand enters the room. Your personal brand enters the room before you do. and it follows you everywhere. And what do I mean by that? So your brand is your reputation. It's what people know of you. It's what people know you to be. It's how they feel when they're around you. So your personal brand is always there. It follows you wherever you go. When you change jobs, people know and they talk about you. And it precedes you, right? When people see your name, all of the images and the feelings that they had about you from their interactions before comes with that. So your personal brand is important. So I encourage you to really think about your brand and be thoughtful with how you are packaging your brand in terms of what you're wearing. And if there are any questions, so I mentioned some of my resources. I mentioned my blog, so I can share that here. So my website is Let's Get Dressed Now. My blog is there. I have a free, an awesome leave behind called 5 Steps to Killer Style. So really 5 steps that help you to really figure out what your style is and how to show up well. So be sure to check out my website. If you want to reach me, my email is Renée at letsgetdressednow.com. Of course, I'm on LinkedIn. If you're not following me here, follow me on LinkedIn. I share content, all kinds of content, talking about really how to tap into the power of your style, how to use your style in the corporate space, as an entrepreneur, as just a private person, your style, how to use your style, the power of your style, how to use that to really create some opportunities for you and to create the life that you want. And I'm on Instagram as well and on TikTok. So follow me in those places. I share lots of videos. And then my VIP style files, my newsletter comes out every other week. And we're talking style tips, we're talking style inspo, we're sharing videos. So it's a fun place to hang out. So if you are not a part of my style world, join me. I'd love to have you. Bring your questions. Oh, and yes, and you follow me on LTK, that's Like to Know It. And that's where I share the links to any of the outfits that I wear. I've gotten bad at that, but any of the outfits that I wear that sometimes people ask, where do you get that from? I'll put the links in my LTK and you can follow me there for the links to shop, make it easier for you not searching down for things. So I'll do a quick recap of what we talked about. So our topic is what to wear to work when there's no dress code. So the first thing is to take a look at your company culture. Take a look at your company and the industry. Is it more formal? Is it more casual? And kind of get some guidance there. Look at what your higher ups are wearing. So this is a note to the higher ups, the VPs, the director levels. Your employees are looking to you to determine what to wear, what's their level of dress. So if you want them to show up in a certain way, then you have to model that, right? Show them what good looks like. And as I said, if you need some help, I can help with that. Lots of organizations don't have really any guidelines in terms of what to wear, and so much has changed now since we've lived through the pandemic and still living in it. So most people would like something, not to say you have to be strict and restricted, but some guidance as what does good look like. And I can help corporate clients, companies put something together that will help their employees feel a little bit more supported and not so overwhelmed when they're getting dressed. So look at your boss, look at your culture, industry, and then think about how do you want to show up? What is your brand? What do you want to say about yourself? And take pointers from that, and then you determine how you want to get dressed, right? And that's it. I don't see any other comments or questions, and I gave you all the ways to find me. If you think of anything after, I'd love to answer, love to help. I think that's it. So follow me on all of my platforms, and then next week, same time, same place, 1 p.m. Eastern, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So I will see you all then. Take care. Bye.